Hello, everyone. You are now tuned into Dourje Day, episode 2. As you can see, I have a new set of guests on the show today. Before I actually give the mic down to these people so they can say who they are, and then they'll talk about what it is that they do, I wanted to call this episode the underdog episode because these 4 people, to me, for as long as I've been doing fashion styling, which has been over 10 years right here in Dayton, Ohio, I felt that these are 4 people, in my personal opinion, that aren't appreciated or put in the light that I feel that they should be put in. I've watched all 4 of them with my own set of eyes, and we shouldn't judge books by their covers, but I mean, we as humans simply just do that. And each and every single one of them, I think, are superb and absolutely amazing at what it is that they do. So I just wanted to let you all know that if you don't feel appreciated in this industry or in this art field or whatever you want to call it is, that we do right here in Dayton and in Cincinnati and Columbus, because all 4 of you go further than just city limits, I just wanted to let you know that I feel as though that you are not appreciated as much as I think that you should be. I simply put this together for that specifically because I just admire you all for being able to to still continue after the possible struggles or the doubt or just questioning yourself at why it is that you do what you do. And I know all of you have put yourself under construction and disappeared for a moment and decided to come back out and just be a force to be reckoned with. So I just wanted to say that to you all. And I do want to let you all know that I've worked with all 4 of these people on separate occasions, and little do they know that some of them have collaborated with each other without them just being in the same building or photo shoot or fashion show at the same time. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic down, and they're just going to simply say who they are, and then we'll talk about what it is that they do. Thank you.
Oh, hello. My name is Mylia Walker, also known as Mimi, and I am a model.
Hi, I'm Jarrel Jackson, and I am a fashion designer and custom shoe artist.
Hello, I am Chynne Baker, and I am a jewelry designer and an artist and a dancer.
How you doing? My name's Dave Scott. I'm a graphic designer, painter, and fashion designer.
All right, thank you. So, without further ado, we're going to jump straight into the questions. And I really think that this episode goes hand in hand with me telling you all how I feel about you all in the field of what it is that we do. And I'm going to make it personal for me, and this just made it all just come full circle. I posted a question, and it was more so a repost about 2 weeks ago. And again, like I said, it was just me reposting. I didn't come up with the status whatsoever. I saw it, and it kind of just stuck with me and resonated with me, and it made me feel some type of way as if, oh, I think this is true, but I want to see what other people say. Mind you, I said that, but I didn't think people were going to respond at all because it was kind of like a negative post. And some associates and business friends of mine and friends and things like that tell me that, Dourje, you should always try your best to focus on the more positive things and, don't water yourself down with, making posts about self-doubt or negative things or being concerned about this, that, and the other and all the above. And it basically said, this city or people support the more popular than those who actually put in the work. And again, like I said, I felt this was fitting because all 4 of you have truly put in a lot of work. And, Dayton as a city, or even Ohio, I don't think knows exactly how much hard work and dedication that you all have either put into yourself, the city, and just, informing people that, without the support, it's kind of hard to continue to go on and move forward with what it is that you do. And the post got a lot of positive comments, and it got a lot of negative comments. Someone even called me on my lunch break and said that post almost went viral, and I was just like, well, I took it down because I couldn't handle it and the comments that were coming with it, and it was hard to digest, and it still, bothers me to this very day, and it kind of makes me nervous and things like that. And I thought about, well, geez, like, why don't you all focus on the things that I'm putting out versus this one little status that was semi-negative, and I've put out thousands, well, I'm not going to say thousands, I'll say thousands of photos, because I don't count, tons of videos, and try my best to always at least show up to events or put something together to let people know that I'm still here, but my way of approaching and doing things is a little different. So I took the post down because I really couldn't handle it. And there were some people that commented that I was okay with them commenting, and then there were people that I just was like, wow, well, I don't think that you should have been commenting, because sometimes we know people's background and how they start, whether they want us to know or not. Word does go around, whether it be good or negative. So I'll stop on, talking about the status. I just want to know, what is your opinion on popularity in business and those who actually put in the work and they feel as if, damn, like, how much more work do I have to put in what I am doing to be able to get where I want to get? And this question can go to all four of you, or into those who just want to answer it. I'm okay with that as well.
I need to marinate on that one, because that's a...
I feel like popularity does kind of play a role in your success in business, only because you can have the dopest stuff in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then you're not going to sell anything, or nobody's going to know about your service. But I feel like people that get somewhere off of their popularity, it may not be as long-lasting as somebody that does it off of their hard work, because at the end of the day, I feel like everything that compounds on top of each other, all the work that you do, eventually gets you further than you just being popular and having a bad product or a bad service or whatever you do. So I think in the long run, the hard work and dedication, the struggle takes you further than just being somebody popular.
I feel like what Jarrel said, but also like consistency is key. So like people that's popular, they might have did something like spur of the moment and it worked. Like that's cool, more power to them. But at the end of the day, they're not really in love with what they're doing. And the people that are in love with what they're doing, they're consistent. And that's going to outlast everything. It's a lifelong thing. It's not just a short window. It's a bigger picture type of thing. So that's how I see it. Like I'm looking at the bigger picture at all times. So popularity for me now, I don't really care. But self-fulfillment, like being happy with the work that I'm putting out, is more important to me. So like that vision that I'm getting to the people and inspiring the people, rather than just making money off of the people, is more what I'm living for. So.
Just to piggyback off of what Dave said, I also, when I first started Shiny Things, it was a very like, let me just get a hobby. And then it turned out to be really good. And I noticed I would have great sales. And then I noticed I started to kind of do the chase a check thing. And that never works. It never works. Like you were saying, consistency is most definitely key. But when I went through this whole rebranding phase, at first it was just a lotus flower, but now it's like a lotus flower in the middle and a cross. So it just kind of, it's that whole process of being an artist, redefining who you are as a person. For me, it was me redefining who I am in Christ, and putting that into everything that you do, because as an artist, as a designer, everything that you touch, all of it, the way that you dress, that's all of who you are. And as long as I believe when you begin to fall in love with yourself more, when you begin to fall in love with the quality of your products more, regardless of how frequent you put products out, it's not what it is. Even my grandmother would tell me all the time, it's always the quality versus the quantity. You don't need a whole bunch of pieces, baby. And I would say, yes, ma'am, all right. And she could hear it over the phone, y'all, I swear. She'd be like, don't stress, you got it, just take your time and make something that is really good and long lasting. Then you could charge what you want. Because then you like, it didn't take me 5 minutes to make this. It took me about an hour and some more to make this. So I think it's once you get more in love with who you are and yourself as an artist and the things that you create, consistency will be more of a regular thing for you, and it won't be should I post it? Should I not? I know the truth about this product, but don't nobody else really know, but I need a couple dollars. Like, none of that. So that's what I feel about the underdog.
Awesome. Well, and I agree with what you all said. Because like I said, for me, it was kind of personal. I used to be one of those people because I've been in it so long. So I come from the moment of when certain things were hot to do in the city, and I was working for, places that were popular, whether it be restaurants, clubs. I'm 33, so I've seen a lot come and go in this city within the time frame that I've been here since 2006. I've seen clubs come and go. I've seen restaurants come and go. I've seen boutiques and stores and businesses, designers come and go. Even stores that were here from the time that our parents were young. I had the opportunity to be able to work with them, and they're no longer here. So, because I was in that light, like, oh, that's Dourje right there. He worked at so-and-so, and he worked at so-and-so and so-and-so, because I was well known back then. I worked 4 jobs on the bus, and I always felt like, because I know all these people should be supporting me, and all these people should be coming to my events. But in recent years, the past 2 years, I've realized that I was once told, just like 2 weeks ago, that I'm not here for the popular people. I'm here for the humble and loyal people. And it may just be 5 people. And I've also had to come to the realization that, there's a market here, but it's so small. And yet it's people like us that are trying so hard to make it bigger than what it is, that it's going to take much more time for people to actually realize that there is potential here for more models, more designers, more artists, and a fashion stylist. But I've also accepted the fact that I'm not going to change just to gain those few little people that truly don't represent who Dourje the fashion stylist is. So I totally agree with you all. And like I said, I used to be one of those people where I thought that popular was just what was going to get me where I needed to go. All right. So we'll jump into some personal questions. We'll start with Mimi. Name one model that you would like to work with, whether it be photo shoot or fashion show.
Like famous or
it can be local, it can be famous.
Just one?
Let's say 2.
That's a toughie. I really, really, really admire Winnie Harlow. I just think she's super confident, and that that inspires me every day, just watching her stories, she's always booked and busy, and a lot of people doubted her in the beginning just because of how she looked, but she's one person that took the way that she looked and ran with it, and she's doing well. So I would love to work with
For
her.
those of you that don't know who she is, can you tell them what she looks like?
She has what's it called, the vitiligo. Mm-hmm. So she pretty much has, the different skin tone, but she's gorgeous, like drop dead gorgeous. So I mean, it's on her face, it's her whole entire body, but she's killing it. She also was on America's Next Top Model, Tyra Banks' show. So I've been following her ever since she was on there. If it was just locally, that's tough too. That's hard, because it's a lot of dope people that I would like, because even guys too, like it's just, I don't even think I could pinpoint one. I would want to do something with a guy just because typically if I did something, it's always with females. So I would want to do something with Ian Steele. He's awesome. He's also another model. And I actually met him through DeFi. If you don't know what that is, that's a Dayton emerging fashion incubator started by Caressa Brown. And I met him for the first time, and we became friends instantly, had this chemistry. He's like my spirit animal. So I have to say Mr. Ian Steele. Oh, that's just for me?
Yes, okay. And, but because you said him, I think that because y'all are both so tall, it would just naturally just flow. You wouldn't have to worry about balancing things out, him being too tall, you being too short, and things like that. All right. So this question is just pretty much open to everybody. Where do you see the future of Dayton when it comes to the foundation, because I believe that we are the foundation of art in entirety. Because, again, like I said, I've seen so much come and go, and naturally, honestly, you all kind of remind me of certain personalities that are already out there, famous and just doing things. I can see, the likeness of you all, being compared to people who are already out there, whether it be you doing, reconstructed fashion and you being a jewelry designer and you being a model and being so tall. So where do you see, or what would you like the future of art, just in general, to be right here in the Gem City? And this can be to anyone who'd like to answer.
I would like to see, I get really excited. This is literal art, but when I see stuff that's on the buildings that people have painted that are from here, I think that is just so beautiful. I think that's stuff that's going to be here for forever. That's stuff that we'll always have to look back on. So when people leave marks like that, and then it's actually a message behind what you're leaving, I think that's something that just can't be touched. So I also think, too, if more people, came together, I feel like a lot more art would be put out. I mean, because art can be just anything. I just feel like it's so many people that's in competition that it's just, we don't put out as much as we could. So I think about if we came together, I'm we be putting out all type of art. We'll have all these different type of videos, all these different type of clothes, all these different type of shows. Yeah. But it's we hinder that because it's always a constant competition amongst each other. Oh, he's doing this, so nobody ever puts out as much, I guess, because I'm it's always so much more when we work as a group. So that's how I feel.
So I went to Dayton Art Institute not too long ago, and there were church hats on display at the Dayton Art Institute. You could walk into any black church and see these hats on somebody's grandmother. And I'm this is art. Oh my gosh, it's definitely art. It's the church hat all day. And like you were saying, I feel like if we were to do more combining, if we were to do more just Thank you. Lord have mercy. I was like, what is the word? Collaborating. If we were to do that more often, we'd have church hats. We'd have shoes. We'd have jackets. We've had, like, the 80s jackets. Just put them together and just do an 80s fashion show. I don't know. Like stuff like that. And I think if Dayton played their cards right in terms of the artists and also in terms of being bold, and just going for it, we could be a mini New York if we allowed that, if we allowed for artists to not be fearful anymore and just say, yeah, paint the building, because our artists don't get it twisted. We need a check too, but like, if you ask our artist to paint the side of a building, yeah, happily ask him to do it. I'm sure he'd, jump at the opportunity. But I think if we stop being so fearful as artists, myself included, and if it was more of an opportunity to do it, we'd be a little mini New York.
Yeah, definitely. If we came together, it would be way more stronger. Right now, we're going through a renaissance a lot of people don't see or recognize, but a lot of artists getting recognized like in the underground, and it's coming up to the mainstream, and it's going through like all the loopholes, like through the city, through all the small businesses. Like it's reforming in every way we can imagine right now in Dayton. So it's definitely going to be an art mecca within the next 10 years. And I'm going to make sure that happens because I'm going to be here. I'm going to be like a stronghold here for that. And I'm going to definitely bring all the people that I work with together on one accord. You know what I'm saying? So definitely want it to be a more warm community to let like new and old people know that we can come together. We can make stuff happen because we have everything we need. We are the people we've been waiting for. So, yeah.
All right, those were great responses, especially coming from you. I definitely could see that because when I said like shying away, then coming back with a force, you did that just recently, and I was just like, Jesus, he just keeps pushing this stuff out, and I'm like, oh my God, like website, new shirts, new hats, and playing with textures and things like that, and shooting photography. I was just like, oh, okay. Okay, you can't help but see this man because if you blink, he gonna be there when you open them eyes back up. All right, so on to a personal question. This is for Jarrel. Name a designer that you would like to collaborate with.
A designer I'd like to collaborate with is actually Dave. We talked about a collaboration before, and we were talking about it just as we were sitting over there waiting before we started taping, because I think he's a force in the city. I'm just now getting into the art scene in Dayton and the fashion scene, and I've seen you guys multiple times. I've run into Dave multiple times. I've seen you. I haven't worked with you before, but I've seen you, and I think I've worked with you before. But yeah, Dave is definitely somebody I want to work with here.
All right. So we didn't talk about exactly, we mentioned what it is that you do. In no specific order, you can share with us what or how you became what it is that you do.
Okay. Mine's an interesting story. I'll keep it brief, but pretty much before I even started modeling, I was the hooper. I was the basketball player, the stereotype to my height, that's what I was. I decided after my senior year of high school that I was going to start making decisions for me and not what everybody else expected me to do. So I was always girly, always wanted to model secretly, but I was just in the corner with it. Went to cosmetology school in 2012. And we had to do a show or something, or had to do hair for something, and it ended up being for Defy. So I met Caressa, showed up to do hair, and then she was like, do you model? And I'm looking like, I mean, no, I ain't never did it before for real. I mean, did a few hair shows when I was in hair school or whatever, like fun stuff. And then she asked me to be in that show that day. And it literally just took her believing in me to like set a switch off. So it seems like after that, like I just started, you know, working with them, working with Defy, started putting myself out there, doing photo shoots, telling people, and I literally feel like it just took off from that. So that's where I started modeling, yeah.
I actually started, how do I get here? Yeah, I started painting shoes when I was in high school because I wanted stuff that other people didn't have and that I couldn't afford. So once I figured out I could make it myself, I kind of just applied that to everything. And then trying to do more, I feel like I've been disappointed by a lot of people. Like I'd go get a graphic made and I wasn't happy with the graphic, so I'm like, I can do that better. End up making a graphic, end up making T-shirts. So now I think my curiosity just builds on top of what I've already done to the point where now I can make clothes and make shoes and I can paint and basically do whatever I want without any restrictions. My goal is always to cut out the middleman. I don't really like I really don't like my work to be hindered by, having to wait on somebody else for something. So I try to go get it myself. And when I look around at what I have now, I'm kind of impressed.
Shiny things started, like I said, as a hobby. But the backstory was, I'm going to get real churchy on y'all real quick. Hold on. Okay. So long story short, I said I was a Christian, but I wasn't really living like it. So my mama told me I needed to get a hobby so I could get out of trouble. She was like, you ain't about to sit on my couch. And I was like, okay, great. So I'm always, spending a whole bunch of money on somebody else's earrings. She's like, why don't you just go make some? Me, all right. So I make some earrings and keep doing it. And then next thing you know, somebody asked me to be a vendor at one of their events. But the extensive story is actually in a book called Lotus Worship. It is available on shinythings.shop. Yes, please order one. It's a beautiful story. It's about jewelry, and you know how I got there. But that's how Shiny Things started.
So I've been doing art my whole life, basically since I came out the womb, just like messing with stuff when I was a kid. But as I grew older, just listening to parents and stuff, they want to stray you away from that because it's not a money maker or whatever. Yeah, get a real job, blah, blah, blah. So I went to school for engineering. Like, I'm good at it. It's cool, but it ain't what I wanted to do. So literally on the pursuit of happiness, I was like, I'm not about to do this my whole life. So I got back into art, went back to school for art, went to Sinclair, got my associates. And that just really helped me get back into it, and then I started developing my own style. And like Jarrel said, just wanted to cut out the middleman with like everything I do. So I just started doing everything for myself, from photography, graphics, printing, all that stuff. So yeah, that's the short story. But yeah, that's basically it.
And it's funny because when you were telling your story, I remember I had met you at that time, and then we were at the fashion show. You were involved, but you weren't there. But she ended up, that was that same day. What was the name of that show? It was Angel's show. Yeah. Yeah. She was a model for y'all. Yeah, you were. I'm just saying, that's when she gave me that backstory, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing stuff just to be doing it. I'm like, what? And then we met again, and you was like, yeah, my mama was like, this, that, and the other. I need to start finding something to do with myself. And then, voila, came all this jewelry, and she just kept growing and just blossoming, and it just really, like, it's you. Like, there's no separation from you and your jewelry. Like, you can tell that it came from you. And, like, even when I go into, like, little boutiques like Grace Lane and things like that, I'm like, I know whose stuff that is. And when I go to Z's Deals, I know whose stuff that is. Yeah, so that's awesome, y'all. we'll jump into a personal question, and this question is for you. Where, because you are already in stores, in like nationwide or internationally, or those type of stores, would you like to see your work? If your work could be something, excuse my lack of terms and not being able to know how to put it together. If it was like factory branded, where you have multiple people or machines creating that exact piece times 1,000, where would you like to see your work at? In what stores?
Lord have mercy. I maybe like, if I could get it there to that degree. Macy's, it could be in Nordstrom's Rack, because I like my stuff to be reasonably priced. Dillard's. What is that store at the Green? Charming Charlie's, or it starts with a V. Von Mar. I never walk in Von Mar, but if I could, I would like for my things to be in Von Mar. I just kind of walk and I go, bye-bye. Don't they have a piano in there? Yes. See, If I could, I'd get my stuff in Von Mar.
All right, just to kind of go back off how we started this out, like I said, you all to me are the underdogs, the unappreciated underdogs to me personally. But I don't let that go unnoticed. That I'm like, these people are the people that you all should be paying attention to. These people are the future of where designing, modeling, and art should be. What do you do to help you continue to keep going forward, even when you're in those darkest moments? Because we as artists, we have them, whether we want to have them or not. I can speak for myself. I have plenty of them, but I always, tap into Dourje and say, okay, well, listen, you got to turn this thing on, because people are asking for you, and they don't want to see you down and out. They want to see you out there and just showing out and letting people know that you are someone that's going to be placed in where you should be. And then recently, because I have been in such a dark place with Tyler Perry opening up these studios, that city, whatever you want to call it, because the thing is huge. I saw a video today, and I was just like, what the heck? This thing just goes and goes and goes and goes. Because I have been, and I can still kind of say that I am in a dark place with me being a fashion stylist. People tagging me to that post, or even just dropping it in my inbox, made me, kind of sort of come out of it and say, okay, you are greater than where you currently are standing, because this isn't it. So how do you, continue to keep pushing yourself when you're just feeling unappreciated, so to speak, or dark moments?
For me, honestly, I look at my child. She just literally is what keeps me going with everything. So if I'm ever feeling doubt or feeling down or whatever, I look at her, and that brings me back up. I just try to if I try to stay consistent, that helps with that. Any event that I may have or anything that I may do, somebody that I may meet, my goal is to always leave that place with some type of connection, leave with some type of, sometimes I might do a show and I might leave there and somebody else might, hey, I got this something, I'm coming up, can you do this? Hey, I got this, are you trying to do this? I think that's what keeps you going, keeps the ball rolling, because if people are hitting you up, then it's like, okay, I'm doing something right. Networking is a big part of that. So I feel like if you can make sure you keep that ball rolling. Somebody told me this story about the well. They used to have to pump the water in the well to get it, but you have to keep pumping for you to get a steady stream. As soon as you stop pumping, then the water's going to stop flowing. So you just got to keep pumping until you just have a steady flow going. So that's what I just try to keep in mind. But definitely when I get down, when I start to doubt myself, I just remember that I got somebody that's watching me at all times, which is my kid. And that picks me right back up. So
sometimes really what keeps me going is, sometimes I don't make anything for a week or 2 weeks, but something as small as somebody hitting me up on Instagram or buying something from the website, just a little bit of momentum can get me back on track. And also the fulfillment I get from putting stuff together. If I have an hour, I can sit down and not turn my phone on or turn the TV on. That is kind of like therapy for me, stitching stuff together, and then I come out with a finished piece. That really keeps me going sometimes too. It's kind of easy to fall into it because I work a 9 to 5, and sometimes I work long hours, and I don't get to work on anything in the clothing side. But if I get 20, 30 minutes and I can bang something out real quick, that really keeps me going. Little bits of momentum really keep me going.
Thank you for that, because I just started a 9 to 5. And at first, I was 9 to 5, go home, go to sleep. And it's like 5 o'clock. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm a social worker, so it's like, oh, I'm done. I'm not making anything. But now it's a mixture between somebody hit me up for something, for like a custom piece, or, posting a picture of themselves in my jewelry, and I'm like, oh, that's me, hey. Or now it's really been kids. I don't have any kids, but I have dancer kids with the Anointed Dance Academy, and like even when they go out to competition and I'll make their necklaces or I'll make their costume jewelry for them, they're like, oh my God, Miss Chynne, it's so shiny, it's so pretty, and I'm like, is it? That's so great. That's great. That's why it's called shiny. It's shiny, baby. That's right. So they keep me going, and just the idea of me constantly telling myself, I am not going to quit, no matter what. I don't care if I don't post anything for 3 weeks. You'll see a post on the 4th week like, I got some jewelry, boo-boo. You want some jewelry. So and I never look at the post after I post it, especially if I've been kind of under the radar for a while, because if I look at it and I'm like, dang, it only got 4 likes. What you think was going to happen? You ain't said nothing for 4 weeks, So now I'm just kind of using the auto post account and just talking to the babies. I always talk to the youth. They will pick you up in a heartbeat. So, yeah.
For me, it's a couple things. Probably, but they equal. But first, like, when I do struggle with being in a dark place or something, I really try to figure myself out. So I'm a deep thinker, so I always, like, sit and thought and just try to, like, think about where this is coming from, why this is going on, and I kind of make myself a project. I research, like, why things are and stuff like that. But that really helps me, like, come out of things, because I like, okay, I know what that is now. Now I can move on and get inspired by it. But the other major thing is women, not like in a misogynistic way, but in a more just like they are the most interesting thing on this planet for real. You know what I'm saying? So like the design, the emotions, spiritually, mentally, and just like I really like noticed like last year, I just have like a lot of strong women around me, like out of nowhere. It just happened because I don't fool with people. I'm not a people person. I don't hang around a lot of dudes or nothing like that. But like I have sisters and I have women that I work with, like my marketing consultant, my PR person. They're all women. So it's just like I look to them for inspiration, things that they go through, the way that they look, the way that they act. It inspires my art. So it's an ever-going thing. And like I also work with models too. So models inspire me, just like what they do, it's all amazing. So it just gets my mental going. Like when I'm in a dark place, I'm like, excuse my language, what the fuck am I sitting here in a dark place for when I got all these amazing people around me? So it's like, I really got to show out for them to inspire them too. So.
All right. So to answer that question myself, I've learned to be influenced more by men now because there are some strong, determined men in Ohio who have made it out of Ohio and who may, come back and forth every now and then just to check on their people, but they've come to the realization that I'm bigger than where I am at. And like Josh, the owner of the salon, and to the location that we're currently taping this in, I've watched him grow. And even when the roads were hard and when there were dark clouds over him and they seemed to have never wanted to leave him, he never stopped. He doesn't live here now. He lives in California now. And I watch his Instagram and I'm just like, wow, like people know who he is in California. People stop him in the streets. He has his own podcast. He's always doing classes on teaching people how to cut and color hair. And I'm like, you're from Dayton, Ohio. Like, that's crazy. Like, to me, he's famous. And I'm really influenced by him, because he, pushes me. He always, Aaron, you need to be here. Aaron, you need to be here. Aaron, when are you going to get here? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm coming, but it isn't as easy as I would like it to be. But because he stays on me, and other people other men out here do the same thing. They just stay on me, and when they see me, going into this shell and not wanting to do anything or be bothered, here they come knocking like, it's not happening, because as easy as you're going to give up on it, it can just be taken away from you, and you'll have a difficult time learning how to love it all over again. Because you all were talking about how as artists, and you tell your parents that this is what you want to do, and they go, sweetie, go get a real job and quit playing. As a child, I was that kid. I wanted to be a dancer. And my parents thought, you go learn it in the street. And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, I wanted to be a black male ballet trained dancer. Excuse me. And because it didn't happen, I kind of just resented my parents at that time at a very young age. But by the time I got to high school, my junior and senior year, that's when I knew that I'm like, art is a part of my life, because any and everything that I could have done in high school, I did it. I said, well, this is my time to dance. This is my time to sing. This is my time to act. And I let art, drawing, and painting go after I got out of high school. And it took me a long time to gain that back, because I let it go. And I always tell myself, well, if God can take art away from me because I wasn't continuous with it, he can do the same with me as me, being a fashion stylist. Because, I could walk out of this building today and that opportunity could be standing at the door. And who's to say that I probably would have gave up on it, and they're like, well, it just wasn't meant for you to be because you decided to throw the towel in. So, yeah. We'll go to a personal question, and this is for Dave. Name one dream that you would like to accomplish, or come true, excuse me. Name a dream that you would like to come true.
That's hard. A dream. I don't know. Probably. That's hard as fuck for real. Cause it's like, like we set up goals, and when we set those goals, we achieve the dreams and stuff. The goals that I'm setting now are being set and accomplished. So, the dream that I would like to see come true would be just the revitalization of the art community here in Dayton. Currently, and once I get past that, which is a huge milestone, but I know we're gonna get past that, it's and then I'll have other dreams, But right now, that's just a major thing on my mind. I really want to see that happen. I want to see this community get it together and just make that happen. And then after that, it'll be a domino effect for everything else, for real. So that's currently, that's the dream that I would like to see come true.
So this question is posed to everybody. What's been your biggest accomplishment?
Being a mother. Short and sweet. That's my biggest accomplishment.
I think my biggest accomplishment is learning how to manufacture clothing from scratch. I'm really proud about that.
I'm gonna think about that real quick.
Why you couldn't just say something? I don't know, my biggest accomplishment. Probably helping to curate the wave that's going on right now. That's probably my biggest accomplishment overall. Personal, probably just creating a name for myself and having a strong brand. That's probably my biggest accomplishment.
I ain't even gonna front. My biggest accomplishment is living out me being saved for real, because out of that came this whole different Chynne Baker, and out of that came all of these other facets of art that I either forgot were there or didn't know that were there. And so I was like, okay, you just don't bury the talent. You just gotta invest in it. And you know, living like that, living the way I'm living now, is by far my biggest accomplishment, regardless of how many posts you see on Shiny Things or a nonprofit or how much money I make off of a business. Don't matter. I could care less. I could care less about a degree. But that right there gave birth to a whole new person.
I want to add, being a father is a huge accomplishment for me too. Seeing my baby's face screaming "Dad" at me every day, and just looking at how she processes and how she learns, and seeing her and imagine her growing up thinking like me or her mom is a combination of the two. I'm just looking forward to it, and that makes me smile. Even when that pulls me out of it too. When I'm in a dark place, I'll look at her, or she'll bust in the room and come and stand on my feet or something like that. That really does it for me.
Okay, well, I'm kind of running out of questions. Does anyone have questions for each other? Dave got one for somebody.
This is for everybody, including you, Aaron. What is next for y'all? Like, what's going on? What's the next stage?
I see just starting off a vendor show at minimum. But I do see Shiny Things being put into a place of business, of brick and mortar. I'm not saying it's going to be very, very soon at all by any means, but I could see it being in a brick and mortar and give opportunities of jobs to young kids who are, need to go get a life like I needed to go get a life. So it's like, yeah, come get your life and come get some work ethic while you over here. So that, and just expanding and collabing with all these other beautiful black people and brown people and white people and purple people. I don't really care what you look like, but if you got some fashion, baby, I want to work with you. So yeah, that.
What's next for me? People hit me up all the time, ask me if I can teach them how to sew or teach them how to screen print or stuff like that. So I've been actually been selling videos and tutorials to teach people how to do that. But I want to do some kind of interactive workshop where we have the printing presses, heat presses, sewing machines, and people can come down and create, off the top. Because that's really what I like to do, and that's what I want to encourage, just creation and really not having any boundaries, and the knowledge to know that you can, if you want to make something, you can do it.
For me, the next step would be New York Fashion Week. I'm so hard on myself about this because literally everybody tells me, like, why haven't you gone yet? Why haven't you at least visited? Like, my best friend lives in New York. So it's like, why have I not been? Like, the past 2 years, like, stuff has come up to where I haven't been able to go. Because I literally, like, I don't want to have anything set up. I literally just want to go on go-sees, walk down the street, like, and see what happens for me. So that would be the next step for me. I honestly, like a few weeks ago, someone came up to me and she said that she knew somebody that was going to be a part of New York Fashion Week next year, and she has stopped me. So I'm going to see where it goes with that. But even if that doesn't go anywhere, I'm still going to go there myself. And I honestly probably won't wait until next year. I don't think I can. I think I've waited long enough. So that would be the next thing for me.
It's a hard question to answer for me because I'm a deep thinker. I stay in my head. I'm very hard on myself. Learning that I'm doing that even more so now than ever before. My grandmother tells me that all the time. So I'm not sure if it means like going somewhere and doing something is to get out of my own way. I'm in my own way. So if I could learn how to do that, I think I would be much more off into other avenues with my business. Learning to not be so afraid and loud about who I am. Because I'm an introvert. I'm social, but I'm an introvert. It didn't always used to be like that. Things have occurred to where I've just naturally become that person. And I'm sure you all can see that. That is not the Aaron that I met when I met him. But yeah, like getting out of my own way, people have told me in recent weeks and months and things like that, that Dourje is not as loud as he used to be. He used to be that person that if you knew he was there, and he was about his business. But yeah, so I would have to just say to move out of my own way and to continue to keep walking forward in the purpose of the talent that God has gave me. So yeah, that's how I would answer that question. Really don't have any more questions, you all. So I'm going to pass this. I'm sorry. Oh, does anybody else have any more questions?
What's next for Dave?
Oh, good question to go back.
Spin it back.
I don't know, for real. Like Aaron said, I'm a deep thinker and I'm a spur of the moment type of dude. I got a lot of stuff going on, so it's really whatever I feel like is important to me next. So I don't know if that's my clothing line or if I should do something bigger with my art. Well, as a matter of fact, now thinking about it, I'll probably do like an exhibit next year if I get the right funding for it. And there'll be more information coming out about that soon. So that'll probably be next for me. I'll do an interactive art exhibit, which would be like my first complete body of work. Like y'all have seen my art, but it's never been like a complete body of work. So that'll be like the next thing for me, I guess.
All right, so we're going to take a moment, and you all can just tell the people how you can be found on social media, and then we'll wrap this up.
Well, I can be found on Facebook. My name is Mimi, M-I-M-I, Dejene, D-E-J-E-N-E, Walker. And then my Instagram, I forget my Instagram name all the time because it changed. It's Skywalker. It's spelled S-K, 2 Ys, W-A-L-K, no E, R, _.
If you want to connect with me personally, my Facebook is Jarrel Jackson. The business page is BLG Projects, and on Instagram as well, BLG Projects. And rarely made it on Instagram and I think Twitter, but I don't just scratch the Twitter, just Instagram.
You can find Shiny Things on Facebook with Shiny Things Limited. Instagram is Shiny Things Ltd. If you want to find me personally, it's Chynne Kiera. My name is not spelled normally. It is ChynneKierra. Hit me up. Ask for a custom piece.
Facebook, Dave Scott, and then Teddy's World, no O, is the business page. And then Instagram is OG.BIG.Dave. And then the TED page is @TedGlorious. Also, check out the website, www.teddysworldnoo.com.
Sidebar, shinythings.shop website.
blgprojects.com.
Y'all better not forget about y'all's websites. I know it is kind of hard to forget that you have that because we're so used to just sticking to Facebook and Instagram that the website is still there. It's alive. You update it when you can. So before we wrap this up, again, like I said in the opening of this, I just felt that you four were the purpose in this episode. Off camera, but on camera. This could possibly be my last episode because our videographer is moving to Miami. So I did want to just make sure I closed this out in a way that I was going to love and would be okay with continuously showing it over and over and over again. I commend and salute and congratulate all four of you in everything that you have done in the year of 2019 because you all have done tremendous things in this year, even, in like Jarrel and Dave's case where you've shied away, but then you've come back, and then the same thing for you. And, for you've had an amazing 2019, because we've seen your face from the beginning of it, and I'm sure we'll see it in the closing of it and things like that.
But I just had to say that because for you to say that, I just had to. But I had a rough, I had moved. I moved out of state. Won't touch on it too much, but it was rough. And then I came back to the city, and before that, I really didn't know what I was gonna do. And I did get in that place where, like I said, I look at my kid, I look at what inspires me or whatever, and it just seemed like stuff just started knocking at the door, came full circle. So then that's when I was like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm glad that it's being recognized.
Yes,
so
yes.
yeah.
And again, thank you for allowing me to be able to collaborate with all four of you this year. So I get a high, and it makes me ecstatic when I can tag other people into the post. Because I always tell people, what is a fashion stylist without being able to work with other people? I prefer not to go to stores and buy Forever 21 and Rule 21. I want to put the people who are actually making things onto the photo and onto the video and things like that. So that makes me excited when I can be able to call on people and be like, all right, I may not get no sleep in your case, but I'm going to push this out because I know that what you're about to do is going to be amazing. So again, thank you. Thank you for taking out the time to be able to be on this episode. And as always, remember the world is your runway, so use it wisely.